Hello, everybody. I'm your co-host M today. Welcome to another edition of the podcast. I'm here with Rio, Tom Brady, and Zyphox, and we would like to talk about the big patch, some third variation stuff, and just the game in general. So let's just get some opinions, guys. No character specific stuff just yet. Talk about your early impressions of the big patch. Tom, let's start with you.
Before I don't want to get specific, like we said, my early impression of the big patch was obviously there's a lot of things they changed, but just in general, the third variation I think added a lot of depth to the game. Just because, in a manner of speaking, I feel like there was like meta one characters that basically play their fast mid down one throw game. Their job is to get in and use that meta. And there were a few characters that kind of had their own game, their own type of meta, like Cetrion, Shang Tsung, that didn't kind of play that exact way, but they had their own, like, outside of that meta. But the problem is there were some characters who didn't have that, and they weren't really designed for that meta one style. They were forced into it. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, etc. By giving some of these characters a third variation, they kind of gave them their own identity, where this is my game now. I'm not stuck nose to nose, down one, slow ass mid throw that doesn't work in that meta. They now have their own game. So I think while some variations, obviously, some third variations didn't do much, I think a good amount of character third variations kind of gave characters that were kind of like pigeonholed into that universal meta one style, and it kind of gave them their own kind of style, much like Cetrion has hers, much like other characters kind of have theirs. So I think it was a great improvement on a lot of fronts. And some characters who didn't have a very good third variation, that's stuff that can be addressed in a future patch, hopefully sooner rather than later.
All right, Rio.
I think this patch is in a much, much, much better state than it was last game. The balance is better. The direction that they took the game is better. It overall feels more fun to play than it was. And I think the game right now is the best that it's been, and it's going to keep getting better.
Zyphox, what are you thinking?
I think that the third variations obviously add like depth to each character, but honestly, I didn't really think the game changed as much as I thought it was going to be before the patch came out. Like, I honestly thought they were going to overhaul some of the mechanics of the game. They kind of did with the flawless block. I agree with the flawless block changes. I just hate that I inadvertently learned how to flawless block the way that it was used before. Like, on accident, like doing the whole forward block thing, and I kind of just like let go of block and then redid it again. Now I can't flawless block at all. So I mean that's a good change though, just because it'll add like skill to the actual flawless block mechanic instead of like kind of like mashing it like we could before slightly. Um, some of the third variations are trash, and it just kind of makes me think like, damn, if only we like. I just revert back to this topic. Like, instead of just like having 3 tournament variations, you just got to choose out of the pool of moves that you have and create your own variation. It's still like my vision for like how the game should be played. So at the end of the day, I don't really care for the patch as much as everybody else. Liu Kang's third variation is actually great, aside from that teleport, which is like the worst teleport in the history of fighting games. But other than that,
Well, since you got into Liu Kang, do you want to talk about has he changed at all? I mean, we know that forward four is 2 frames slower, but anything else really like? I mean, have you played? Do you feel like that changes the character in any way, shape, or form?
yeah, it does. It does because it used to be the auto go-to move for like pretty much every situation that
Yeah.
like you got your turn in. And now you kind of got to use down one more just because back one gets low profiled a lot by certain characters and it doesn't reach as far. So in certain situations where you might want to counter poke, you have to kind of do it like how everybody else used to do it. Um, Now, I don't think it should have been changed to 11 frames. I think 10 frames could have done the job, just personally, because some of the some of the forward four combo links are like harder to do. I just completely gave up on them.
Okay.
The third variation of Liu Kang is actually a pretty good variation because he gets the command grab that they fixed and they made the Shaolin stance uh usable. Like the stance is better than the other stance that he has, but without low fireball, uh his forward four his forward four 3 string in general isn't as good without low fireball, just because you can't really make anybody respect you like you could low fireball. Like at a certain point in time, if you do want to disrespect or you want to blow up the gap, you could challenge him at any time and pretty much in that variation, just because you don't really have anything to stop him from or as a Liu Kang player, you don't have the power to stop anybody from pressing buttons after that. So you can't really establish the mind game like you could with a low fireball. And I'm just thinking back, like, damn, if only they could just put low fireball with the stance and the command grab in one variation.
Oh, yeah, right. Good luck.
If only they could do that, then I'd be happy. Other than that, though, like, it's his because Liu Kang is such a solid overall character. I think he relies less on his variation changes, and so because of that, the third variation automatically is going to be good. He does have tick throws, like off the back one, that's really strong. Like if you get into a counter poke situation with him, you have to guess. Like if you do a down one and the Liu Kang blocks it, he does back one to counter poke you, and like unless you do something crazy like down one special, or like you know if your down one's like bullshit like that like Garrus used to be, like down one, you can get full comboed with the hit confirm back 1 2 3, or you can get back one command grab on block, and you can even set up an OS for it too. So it's just really strong in general. Not to mention the fact that he can do back one cancel in the middle of the string into the stance, and you can get 50-50. You can't react to it. Um, it's just strong. It's just strong in general. Very good variation.
So the best variation is still probably
It's still the
one.
low fireball variation,
Okay. All right.
just because the threat of the parry, the threat of the low fireball, it allows him to establish that forward four mix up good, because he's still, think about it, like 11 frame mid that does whatever everything that forward four does. It's still a really good tool. Now
Yeah.
it's not the best string in the game anymore, or like top 3 strings. It might still be like a top 10 string, but it's not like if you thought about last patch, what were the best like strings in the game? You would put forward four and everything after it in like the top 3. But now it's like, I don't know. If we were gonna make a tier list on the strings, it's gonna be like in a top 10 somewhere, maybe 11th. I don't know.
All right. That's fair enough. Tom Brady, Sub-Zero. What say you?
Uh, to be honest with you, with Sub-Zero, I really hated this game. I came on a podcast with you guys right after Summer Jam, and I pretty much said there's no depth, it's not fun, I don't enjoy it, and I hate it. I've been playing for a long time, since 1991. When you're young, you don't really give a shit or even stop to think about if a game is good, bad, or even fun. All you care about is competing. After you prove to yourself and first and foremost and everybody else that you're at the top of your game, 5-10 years later, when you've already proved everything to yourself and other people, then there's external motivation, shut people up, whatever it may be. 15 years of shutting people up, you realize you can't even shut anybody up. There's always a new game, always you can't do it now. At the end of the day, when you're old and accomplished, the only thing you have left is you finally actually have to love the game, because you've already proved everything to yourself. You prove things to other people. You've shut whoever you're supposed to shut up, even though it'll never happen. So there's no motivation left. You actually have to love what you're doing. I hated Injustice 2. I hated Mortal Kombat X. And I went to Summer Jam, didn't want to make top 8, didn't even want to stay after I did. Normally, if you're trying to make a comeback or even starting out and you make top 8 in a mid-major, you're normally encouraged and you can't wait to come back home, start grinding, go to a bigger major. I was never going to play the game ever again as long as I lived. I didn't touch it once. Had no desire to. I was kind of skeptical of this patch. How much depth could they really possibly give me? And then they gave me Avalanche Sub-Zero, and I haven't played a game like this since 2011. And I've been playing. I started waking up excited to play the game again. Grinding, labbing, just so much extra depth that for me that was never there. And I think Avalanche Sub-Zero is a perfect complement to what Sub-Zero was. A lot of new players, they're going to dominate still with Dead of Winter. Thin Ice is, I don't know what it is anymore. But with Avalanche, it just fit my style. And there are other people out there like that who say, I don't really enjoy this particular play style. And it gives them something else that wins a different way that has a ton of depth. I think Sub-Zero is one of the more drastically changed characters in the game because of that variation.
So what you're saying is that the third variation allows you to play the well-known, the MK9 Tom Brady style, where you can. It's not about 50-50s. It's more about setups and.
Yeah, no pun intended. It is a clone of MK9. It's the Creeping Ice replaces the Ice clone, and the Arctic Trap basically is used to stop the MK9, the MK11 wake up options, forward roll, delay wake up, etc. It's a good way to punish that stuff. It makes people start waking up, so you know exactly how they're going to get up. So it's not really made to pin you down like an Ice clone was, can't move. It's got tons of recovery. There's 1,000 ways to punish it. It's not like do a combo and you have no option. You got to get up. You got to hold it. It's not like that at all. It is a mind game that does take risk, but it basically conditions the opponent to not do what they've been doing for the entire life of the game, right? Always roll, always stay down for a second. It beats all those options. And it just complemented by Creeping Ice. One of the things Sub-Zero has always had a problem with after 2011 was after everything he gets blocked, he's either unsafe or there's something he can cancel into. There's no stagger, there's nothing. And now, because he has that good special, it's pretty much he can do a string. If it hits, confirm in a combo. If it's blocked, go ahead and end with the special that pushes back. Does great chip. You never get your turn back. He keeps himself out of the strike throw mix-up that's so generic in the entire game. Kind of makes him his own character. And I feel like Scorpion is very much of the same with Misery played. I feel like both of them kind of got that game where they're able to play that more mid-range, life lead, lame, safer style. I don't think either one of them had that option before. So it was a huge change, and it gave them their own game, their own type of meta that they were missing.
Tom, I'm sure you'll agree that I think Cade is another character who I think who could be added with the third variation. Not so much against male characters, but against females you couldn't jail before, so it was difficult to keep the pressure going when you do pretty much anything without whiffing. But now the third variation gives you kind of like pretty much a safe special move that jails from low pokes, especially down one, that you can just kind of throw out really. And I think that kind of goes along with what you're talking about, Sub-Zero and Scorpion. So it's not just about having a 9-frame mid and you're just shoving it down people's throats, for 90 seconds.
And it's a good anti-air too.
Exactly. So I think in that regard, I agree with you 100%. It's a good change. It's something fresh instead of just, all right, Geras blocks this, is going to do forward 2, or Jackie blocked this, she's going to do this fucking 9-frame mid all day long. There's nothing I can do about it. So now I think it gives the defensive player a little bit more options, which I think makes a difference. Before we move on and talk about the other characters, Rio, let me ask you, third variation, Aaron Black. Go ahead.
Aaron Black's third variation?
Yeah.
I like the amount of detail and animation that went into it. He puts down a bear trap. He opens it up. You can kick it at your opponent. You can do cool things like throw acid on the ground. If they get caught by a bear trap, you can combo into it and do his new crushing blow, which they changed the requirement for completely. Before, it was off the enhanced acid, and for it to trigger, it was at the end of it. Sometimes you wouldn't be able to do it because, the animation's like 10 seconds long and the acid doesn't last as long. You would miss it. But now they change it so that if you do the regular acid, which they gave it the crushing blow to the regular back forward one, it'll trigger. So it's very easy to combo into it if someone lands in a trap. They get hit by the trap, you throw acid, you do a string at back forward one, easy crushing blow.
But in general, is it any good though?
I mean, when it comes to Iron Black, I just play 52 card pickup. I don't really have the need to want to drop everything with 52 card pickup and explore this third variation. That's similar to how I feel with Barking Irons. I just don't feel like I need to go to anything else. 52 card pickup has everything I need. Why would I want to go to any other variation?
Well, that's a good question.
So it could be very good. It could be, I don't know. But I don't feel like sacrificing everything and doing another trial error with another variation when I definitely feel like I don't need to do anything.
All right, fair enough. Well, let me just briefly comment on Shang Tsung and Kitana because those are the two characters I use the most. At first, I thought the ninja variation was going to be bad. But then I kind of talked to Kaba and I texted him like, "What do you think about this?" He's like, "You know what? It's actually not that bad." And I started using it, and it actually turned out it's not that bad. I don't think it's top tier or anything, but I think it's a decent mid tier variation. You have the shake, which is very good against pretty much most of the projectiles in the game. Then at the neutral range, you can do the lift, you can do the jump, you can slide, and you can dash up, throw. So it kind of like fits kind of the way he wants to play more or less. Anyway, it's not as good as Round Eruption, that's for sure. But I think it just kind of gives you another look, another fresh look at the character that you didn't have before. So I would say they did a good job with that. And then with Kitana, honestly, man, like I don't think it's even worth talking about because Highborn is so good now that you would be a fool to use any other variation. So I think just kind of going next to the next subject, I think as a winner, Highborn has to be, or Quintana in general really is a winner in this patch. They the biggest change was the second hit of the meter burn fan hitting mid. I think that just makes it so you just can't, neutral croucher all day from a range. So now you have to respect the second hit, like Sub-Zero can't slide anymore. Stuff like that makes a huge difference. And it buffed the razors, as far as they don't whiff anymore. Nobody can back the shit anymore. They're hitting a lot more consistently now on block and hit, which is huge. And they gave her some other stuff as well with strings. I think for sure she's one of the winners. What are you guys thinking?
Well, as someone who only plays in Combat League all the time, the katanas I used to fight before would put up a good fight, but they would never really give me a run for my money. Now it's kind of a different ballpark almost, because now when I play them, even though they're doing the same shit that they used to do before, constantly jumping, constantly throwing out strings, constantly doing razors, and so on, it's just 10 times harder to fight now. Like, it's very hard to fight, because now whenever her game plan is just that much more oppressive than it used to be, that now when you play against Katana, it's an actual battle that you have to be like, shit, it's Katana now. I need to play serious.
Wait, which variation?
Very different from they all play Highborn.
Okay.
It's the one they use. Yeah.
I think
But I mean, they had the same game plan. Like the ones before she got buffed and everything, they used to jump a lot. They used to do strings. They used to do this and that. Now they're doing everything the same as before. It's just way harder to fight against. So yeah, she's definitely way better. I could easily see her being a high tier character now.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the winners. What do you think, Tom? Any other character you would put in the winners? So-called, quote unquote section of the, of the
Frost.
For winners, yeah, I would put Frost in there. Cabal's third variation, I've heard, but Kerber was saying he thinks it's his best variation now. So I would say Cabal's in there. Kotal Khan, it might be because he's kind of like a boss character now. It's kind of innovative how they did the totems now, where you just need 3 totems in general. Just have to have one of both of them out. Doesn't matter how you stack the order. And then if you have all 3 out, you hit like a truck and nobody hurts you. And it's kind of innovative. It's kind of like like it takes so long, and then combine that with good use of God rays. Just sometimes it just takes so long to kill them. It's really, really cool. So I think Kotal's third variation is a little. I don't know. I think it could potentially end up being his best variation. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, Katana, I would say probably just because she got so many changes just to herself in general. Air fan juggles now. That's huge. Got a new crushing blow. So I just think I had to pick the biggest winner. It might be Katana, maybe Sub-Zero, possibly Cabal. You could look at. One thing that intrigues me about Shang Tsung is that really changes things is his projectile parry. So they changed a lot of projectiles in the game that were no longer considered parryable and made them parryable. And also, it's Smoke's parry. So, Scarlet, she does her slow blood ball. She could be jumping around the screen, in the air, blocking whatever. It's a guarantee. The match is over. Like, if she can't survive it, you can't zone him at all. So, it'll be kind of interesting how these things come to play. I think that there's enough winners in there that I don't think we could possibly know what's good or what's bad right away. It's just kind of like people got to play them and put time into them. I mean, I think Johnny Cage is the classic example of game came out, everybody said, what was his second variation called? Shock or whatever it is? Or which is
I think so.
Showstopper. Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, this variation, that's shit. No nut punch. And it ends up being his best. So you never really know. And now his third variation, Johnny, could also be a winner because now he's more of a lame character. It's tough to jump on him. Anti-airs have been a huge problem. We've covered that plenty of times on this show. He's got a great anti-air, got a save special. Make sure you respect some of his pokes more. Zoning, it's better zoning. Before, the projectile wasn't to zone. It was to basically keep advantage. Now it's actually to physically zone. So there are a few candidates out there. So I think that speaks a lot to this patch that there are a few characters we could look at and say, wow, this character got a lot. This character, this character, this character, this character. And generally, we're not used to seeing that. So I think I definitely stand corrected from how I felt on the last podcast that this patch wasn't going to change too much.
Zyphox, what do you think? Would you add any other winners to the list?
Listen, the biggest winner that you guys failed to mention, or maybe because I had stepped away for a minute,
Yeah.
is Cetrion. She did not get a change, and she's been the same since the game came out. And no one's gonna talk about how Cetrion is still.
But she's always been a winner.
Yeah.
She's always been arguably top 5 since the game launched.
Dude, she might as well be called Neo at this point. She's dodging these freaking nerfs left and right like a freaking in the Matrix.
See, I know. Look, I don't want to get too much into tier list, but I just want to say this. I like how in this game, the strongest characters are characters that make sense from the lore. Look at it. No, look at it. Look. Like right now, in my opinion, the top 3 characters in the game are this: Geras, Cetrion, Liu Kang. And if you look at it lore-wise, Geras is like the Doomsday version of an MK character. Cetrion is an Elder Goddess, and Liu Kang is a champion of Earthrealm. Is that not sick? Like, if any character's gonna be top tier,
You're right.
at least it should make sense. I don't want to see a character like Collector be the best character in the game that's used everywhere in top 8. Like, who the hell is Collector? Why is he that good in the game?
Yeah, that's true.
But how the top tiers ended up in this game, I think is so cool because it matches with the lore.
Now, how about Raiden?
I just wanted to say that.
Why is
I mean, no one's cared about Raiden since MK9. It's whatever.
Listen, hold on, but
See, here's the thing: if Raiden didn't disappear in the story mode, if they never got rid of Dark Raiden, the good one, he would have been top tier.
possibly, but Raiden is terrible.
No, you're right though. Raiden is pretty bad. He's so bad. I can't even call him Lord Raiden anymore. He's so bad.
They got rid of his lord. That's funny.
I didn't mean
it's okay.
to interrupt. I just wanted to say that.
Well,
Yeah,
you bring in just, I guess, the next conversation here. We obviously have the winners. What about the losers? I would say, I know he's mid tier. Speaking of Collector, I think it's the first variation, right? The one with the command throw. That variation is not like people claim. It's not bad. That's just BS. But dude, oh my god, what is that thing called? The chakram, whatever that thing is called. It's almost
chakra.
It's 2 slots. They nerfed it by like 10 or 11 frames. They pretty much low. What they did to low gunshots. sorry to bring this up. In Injustice 1 and the wrist shot in Injustice 2, this is what they did to this poor character. And everybody was like excited, yes, the collective. Finally, we have something, we can always hit confirm, whatever we can, because he has what is it, that 10 frame string. He was going to be able to combo from that with the chakram, and they nerfed it by like 11 frames. I think they made it the way the move travels even slower. I mean, he didn't get nerfed, but the third, it's a bill, man. It's so stupid what they did. And it's 2 slots. Why? If you're gonna make the nerf, if you're gonna make the
Hey,
what?
games are balanced now, dude. The era of broken shit is long in the past,
It
so
wouldn't even been broken.
NRS knows
You
what they're
got
doing.
Man throwing that.
If I had to give NRS a report card on how they addressed that broken move that every collector was jacking off to before, I'd say they did a good ass job.
Okay, here's the thing. You know what the opposite of balance is? Shit balance.
Imbalance?
No, shit
Hey.
balance. That's exactly what they did here. Because
Is it really that bad?
yes, of course it's bad.
Hey, look, if I kick traps at you, I'm pretty sure you can hit me with a chakram, whatever
But
it's
who
called.
cares? Why wouldn't you just use the bola anyway? At that point,
I mean, look,
Why
it's
does
1
it
frame
require-
faster, man.
if they made it 1 slot, okay, I would understand. They have the different gameplay design. And
Dave, you know how important frame that is? It's 1 frame faster.
what's 1 frame faster?
The chakram.
Then why doesn't it combo from that 3-2 string?
Because it's got to be at least like 5 frames faster to combo off that shit.
Well, again, I'm not buying any of this stuff.
Look, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying good job to NRS for, making these balanced games now. No more broke shit. No more cheap, crazy shit that's like, yeah, man, I'm going to abuse this crap. Now, I like how they balance everything.
Well, that's
Almost nothing
this
gets
is
through
not
the
balanced.
cracks.
This is not balanced. This is just a poor job. Like they overreacted. If they want to,
Perhaps, but it's better for something to be a little underpowered than for it to be broken. You know that's true.
Well, again, we don't even know whether it would have been broken. That's just,
Would have definitely been really, really cheap.
and again, that's a variation that doesn't have, it has a worthless move, literally a worthless move.
Well, here's the thing. The
Relic.
whole reason that Relic Lure is useless is because back then, that move had a purpose. It gave Collector a new launcher and new combo paths. But now,
Yeah,
with last patch when they buffed Collector, his 4-4-3,
Yeah.
whatever that string into the
yeah,
that launches them. Before, Relic Lure used to be that. That's how you would get an extra launch to get combos. Now, because Collector has a general buff that has the same launch as Relic Lure, the move became pointless. But that's not really because of the move, it's because how NRS decided to buff him. They gave him that random launcher. They should have buffed him in a different area and kept that string however it was before, but so that way Relic Lure would have a use now. But it's too late for that. The Relic Lure, they're gonna have to do something with that move.
Well, I'm not a fan.
It's not that Relic Lure is ass. It's that huge buff that they gave Collector last patch, making 4-4-3 a universal launcher, is what made Relic Lure
Yeah.
pointless.
Well, I mean, it's not even about the relic. It's about the fact that the chakram is just. It should be better if you're gonna make it 2 slots. 2 slots means it's on par like Sechuan's Geyser, Shang Tsung's Ground Eruption moves like
I
that.
do agree that if they kept Chakram before, how it was very quick, then that was very deserving of 2 slots.
I think
But you have to remember, it comes with a crushing blow, which Bola doesn't have.
it's something I think that needs to be looked at for sure. Now another loser for me is Raiden. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he's deserving of some type of bro. I don't even know what Raiden even means. To be honest with you, I don't even know. Like it's like his special moves are uninspired from the get go. Everything that he has just doesn't really fit with the game of MKX.
I feel like Raiden is the character that, if he becomes top tier, a lot of people are going to hate this game because of his playstyle. He is so... I don't know if you played. There's one version he has which is solid, the teleport one, where he can run away and teleport.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit.
If he had ways to fight you up close and safely hunt damage or do whatever, that variation would be so lame. NS would have to redesign it or do something, because I know people are not trying to watch multiple Raidens in top 8 walking back all day, teleporting out of the corner. You get in, he's safely hunting a combo, rinse repeating all day. I'm sorry, but that shit is...
I'd watch it.
It's a snooze fest. You would watch it, but a lot of the new players that are into
I'd
like the
play it.
fast-paced, fun entertainment, I want to go watch a movie, see this high-paced action, Raiden would literally kill the viewership if he was a top-tier character and played like that. I'm just keeping it real. So I don't know how they could address him. Maybe if they make his other two variations really good, the ones that don't have the lame teleport, they make his what is it, Raijin and his bow staff. They make those two really good, then yeah, that could work. But that one teleport variation, they need to be really careful with. Because if that ends up being top tier, I'm telling you, it's gonna make a lot of people
I don't
hate
think
the
that
game.
variation is even bad.
Me neither. I think it's solid for what it is.
I think that variation is probably.
But the thing is, when you think of Raiden, you think of the teleporting god. So whatever buffs he's gonna get, I have a feeling that they're all gonna go towards that one Raiden variation, one where he's teleporting.
I don't think the teleports. I mean, teleports are powerful tools. They shouldn't be.
No, dude, I agree with you. I think that version right now is fine how it is. So they need to be very careful what they do to generally buff him. Because if they make him this up close powerhouse stagger string character that's able to hunt big combos all day, it's gonna make his teleport variation ridiculous.
His teleport variation is very good. It's already good. That doesn't have to get touched. The third variation is.
No, but Tom, you don't understand. Most Raiden players aren't asking for specific move buffs or variation. They're asking for general move buffs, his general move list. So everything he gets is going to heavily buff his teleport
Okay,
variation.
well then don't touch the teleport. It's simple. I mean, the Raiden player. I mean, people want. I mean,
People,
you know.
hold on. I gotta say this. People want, what is that string? Is it bad? Was it 4-1-2 or?
They want back 1-2 to be completely safe.
Yeah, they want that to be like minus.
How about no?
It is
But hold
cancel.
No.
Use the back forward 3. Cancel.
No. It's already a mix up to punish it, first of all. Okay? Second of all, I agree that if you want to make something safe with him, you're not going to make back 1-2 safe. You're going to make the string that he can throw out to hunt for a combo safe. How about they do something to make the rest of his strings have some more use instead of turning him into a one string character like everybody else? How about they make back 1-4 safe on block?
Well, that's the key, like everybody else. So
I would agree with that. If you make back 1-4 safe on block so he has a safe fast mid, okay. But you can't turn him into another generic character where it's like, I'm gonna do this one string all day, every
You
day,
could
and
make
it's
back
everything. It's
two-
fresher,
you could
it's stagger, it's combo hunting.
You can make back 2 special cancelable. So you can cancel after 1 hit. You're still dead as hell, but you get a combo off it now.
well, hold on. To be fair to the Raiden players, they're gonna say, "Wait a minute, why not? I want to have the same tool like every other character. I want to be Gearus. I want to spam the same safe launch. I want to be safe."
Because you don't need to be Gearus. You can just play
Well,
Gearus. We don't need another
need.
Gearus.
I mean,
We don't need more
we
Gearus
can
players.
touch
We
on-
don't
we
need
can
more
touch on
Gearus
Gearus.
characters.
the fact.
If you want to play a character like that, I think you should just play Gearus.
I mean,
Or if you want your character to try to become a top tier, I guess you could take the high road that Katana players do.
Play
You
Avalanche.
could, make 1,000,000 buff threads and harass the developers on Twitter until you get your character buff. That's an idea.
well,
But that takes a lot of work. There needs to be a lot of you to do that.
True.
I don't know if there's a lot of Raiden players like that. Katana players have like
that variation.
millions that
The
ask
real,
for
the real
buffs.
problem is that the Joe push variation is garbage.
Yeah,
Um,
the move Joe push in general is just
All right, so I played a lot with the Joe push variation before or whatever. Like I equipped Joe push, whatever, and obviously by default he didn't have his straight fireball. He just had his Superman attack, but Joe push back then replaced fireball. Now Joe push replaces Superman, and he gets his straight fireball. Joe push is very underwhelming. For one thing, I don't need to put a lightning staff down to control where my lightning goes. I'm not stupid. I see where you are, or I can predict where you will be. That staff is whatever. But the Joe push initially was like, wow, this is going to be really strong. For one, the combos offered were kind of difficult, but they were damaging. They nerfed it so you can even do less damage now. So you don't recover as fast, they don't go as high. So the Joe push itself, its damage is underwhelming and significantly harder than Variation 1. So why would I do less damage with less ways to convert? And they're harder? Pass. The Joe push's idea seemed pretty cool because at first I was like, if an opponent throws a projectile, you could throw the Joe push and use the teleport to go through it and appear next to them and launch them. So I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Only it takes so long to get into those invincible frames unless it's something super slow like Sub-Zero's Ice Ball, you're not going to be able to do that. And then I was thinking, well, maybe this move can be hit confirmable. Then you're pretty much throwing a launcher from half screen at somebody, and if it hits, you confirm it and cancel. But you can't hit confirm it either. So basically, it's just this move that's death that nets you very little damage, and you have to be Qui-Gon Jinn to do half of the combos that actually give you big damage. know, and even Qui-Gon Jinn would drop some of them, and Paulo would just say his hands are stupid, you know. So I mean, I just think if they made the Joe push hit confirmable and made its active teleporting frames better, it would have such a great use. He doesn't have a teleport, but he can, you know, like bait projectiles and go through them by using it and launching them. And he's also zoning with a hit confirmable launcher. It'll still be like -20, so there'll be some characters that punish it, like Shao Kahn will probably shoulder, Scorpion, maybe spears, Sub-Zero slide. You know, the noob might be able to do like a shadow, like the low shadow. I don't know, but so it'll still have risk in certain situations, but it kind of gives him his own thing again. Like right now, Raiden is just run away, teleport back. I mean, that's good and all. Not that it's bad, but the Joe push just kind of gives him a newer play style, like something new. And a way to use a teleport-like move a little more innovative than just teleporting next to somebody. And I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know. You know, like instead of Raiden players being like, why isn't our back 1-2 more safe? Why isn't this? Give him the ability to hunt that damage from range as opposed to always being nose to nose, caught in just what we were talking about to start the podcast. Down one, mid, throw. That's what Raiden is right now. He's a character stuck.
That's the game though for
it is not.
many characters.
He is stuck in
down one, throw, mid.
But some of those characters were built for that. Jax, Geras, etc.
Yeah.
Raiden was not. But he doesn't have his own thing. They gave it to Scorpion, Sub-Zero. They gave Johnny Cage his third variation, one of his own things. But he doesn't have his own. He's stuck in down one.
What if they made it so when he does Joe push, he can, you know how he's able to meter burn for a pop-up?
Mm-hmm.
What if he could also, in addition to that option he has, meter burn for a teleport in for a mix-up? So now it's when he does Joe push, you have to guess.
No,
like, oh
you
shit!
can't throw a launcher at somebody. You can't make a hit confirmable launcher that you're throwing at somebody.
No, it wouldn't be hit confirmable. I wouldn't.
It would
I
still
don't
be
mean
trash
he
then.
would teleport and get a combo.
It would still be trash.
Okay, because then he'd be able to use it on block to be like, okay, are you gonna try and press a button, get hit in the face with the launcher, or am I gonna teleport and now you're gonna have to guess?
People will just say, oh, "I'm just guessing wrong off it." Just get the launcher. You know, like,
I mean, I don't know, because I feel like just making Joe push safe or something would be kind of stupid.
I don't make it safe, make it confirmable. So if you
like a very delayed meter burn to it, like you see it, you visually see it hit, and then after 5 frames, you're like, oh, it hit.
But
and you tap the meter burn button.
Think about it though. It's gonna have consequences still for a lot of characters. Like characters like Brock, I could do a fast special. Jade will shadow kick it. Sub-Zero slide it. Scorpion spirit. Characters will be able to. Geras will probably sand trap it. Shang will fireball it. Or
I would hope they could if it's going to be a half string launcher.
But the point is, you can do it maybe from like. It just gives them a better option. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's still just that risky for range, and you still can't hit confirm it. So you're like, I'm dead or I'm dead. What? Like, you know, and I have to commit to it to use it. And I just, if his teleport frames were faster, he went into that became active faster. He could use it to get around zoning as well. You know, now he'd still have to commit.
Wait, just to clarify, you don't mean his regular teleport?
No, I mean his.
You mean his when he teleports during
teleport off his Joe push. Now, either you still have to be pretty fast to get around fast projectiles like Sonya, that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be a mindless like you can't ever zone kind of thing. But right now, even if you read it, it just takes so long to get into his teleport frames. You're taking so much risk on a read, and like you can't even get it. You'll just get hit in the face anyway. So I think making those kind of changes to Joe push and making maybe like a little higher launch, making it a little easier to combo, or something along those lines. I think that kind of gives him his own game. Now Raiden has always been designed to be a lame character.
Yeah, but that's what the problem is. Like he's designed to be a lame character,
but he's not lame.
Exactly, the lameness is not there.
Wait a minute, where was he ever designed to be lame?
A lot of games.
Every time I look back at Raiden, he's like this oppressive ass character that just does shit.
What was he oppressive? The blocking if it's an MK9? Get out.
Dude, are you serious? MK9, the characters literally teleport, strike in your face, stagger city. MKX, he was literally a 50-50 machine.
Not at the end of the game. No.
Okay, yeah, because they nerfed the hell out of him because of what he was before. But MKX, In MKX, he was literally a 50-50 restand god. So where was this game where he was this lame ass?
50
50 restand god.
I'll tell you where he was this lame ass
Every-
character. Start with MK11. Okay?
Every character.
Raiden was never this
Wait,
character before.
wait,
He was always this.
This dude said he was a 50-50 restand character in AX. Bitch, shut the fuck up, every character.
Dude, he was like the god among all of the 50-50 restand characters. Like he was
in the,
the one above
beginning
all.
of the game.
beginning
Yeah.
when it was broken.
My point, Raiden usually comes out in the game. He's
But
pretty
it doesn't
stupid.
matter
And
because
then they have to dress him.
Raiden broke the first rule. If you beat Sonic Fox, it has to be nerfed. You know, you broke the first rule of the game.
Okay, no, I'm just trying to say I never remember Raiden being this lame ass character.
I think
Until MK11, they changed him now. Now instead of
MK2,
him,
he was hella lame.
dude, MK2 Raiden wasn't lame at anybody. He got fucking lamed out by everybody.
So,
in
but
the
he was
game.
still lame too. He was a lame guy.
was
that
shit,
got-
like,
no,
yeah.
the point is
He
whether it
was
was
shit. He got
affected.
lame.
Well, hold on. The point is whether it was affected or not. That's the character's design. Why do you think his main mid is?
Dave, what are you talking about? I'm literally addressing this right now that he was never this lame character. And even in MK2, his whole game was I'm gonna teleport in, I'm gonna do some jab pressure, or I'm gonna do that one frame launcher, the shot
More
grab.
Gearus characters. I'm giving you another at least option of the character's supposed to play.
Hey, I don't look.
If you don't want to make him lame, then give him a safe mid string like all the other characters. Don't make him.
Yeah,
shit.
that's
So wait a minute.
That's
The thing I said literally.
safe man.
Wait, stop. Okay, dude, can we just talk one at a time, please?
Yes.
Literally, the first buff I suggested for Raiden, minute 1 of this topic, was, hey, why don't you just make Raiden's back 1-4 safe? That way he doesn't turn into one generic string pony like everybody else. You know, make him a little bit different. You know what back 1-4 is?
Yeah.
It's the mid overhead string.
I know what
So
it
we
is.
just need to add another character to the generic.
There, now he has a safe string you can just throw out and do. I'm sorry it doesn't lead to 40% B&B combos and does everything, but
But that's the
I mean, can we have
They can do that
can we
too.
can we give characters a little bit
They
of
can do
thought?
that and still buff the Joe push because that variation right now is.
Yeah, they can. I agree. They can. I'm sorry. I just wanted to address the whole like Raiden's been this super lame, run away, try to catch me
If they
character.
buff Joe push, I would play Raiden immediately.
Well, I think that.
I mean, as well as Sub Zero, like you know.
Well, I agree with Tom. I think the characters, traditionally, whether you agree or not, let's not get into that right now. I think it's
Yeah, traditionally he's a rushdown god. But
Not an
anyway, go on.
MK9. Not at the end of the game. He wasn't a rushdown god. You fool.
Dude, in the beginning, that character was
Because he had block
ridiculous.
infinites. Of course, he's a rushdown.
No, it had more than that, dude. His teleport was insane. His strings were plus on block. Everything
Yes,
was like,
his
what is
launches
this
were plus
character?
on block. It's not a rushdown
He was
god. That's
in
stupid.
MK9, the first 6 months, he was like a DBZ character.
Well, that was stupid, though.
But that's what I'm saying. That dude, when I think of Raiden, I think of those impressions of him.
I don't.
MKX, MK9 in the beginning. Because in the beginning, I fought nonstop Raidens online.
I think when he was a lame character.
In MK11, he is, yeah. MK11, they changed his playstyle. Instead of him being like this aggressive rushdown,
That's his
like, am I
playstyle
going
now.
to teleport now? Am I going to teleport then? Whoa, where am I going to be? Now he's this, I'm going to walk back,
Hold
let
on.
you hang yourself.
I agree. Back
down
one four,
lightning.
make it safe. That's fine. But they need to buff his Joe push. 100% needs to be buffed.
I agree, yeah. Joe push or any move in that variation could use a buff to make it better.
You do know that he already has a safer mid that's he has 4-3.
Yes, I know he has 4-3-2 Dave, but that's not enough. Raiden players don't give a shit. They specifically want back 1-2, the one that leads into his combo, to be safe.
Yeah, exactly.
But doing that, you know what happens when you do that, right?
What?
The character's literally going to be down 1, throw, back 1-2 all day.
Well,
That's
oh,
it.
you mean like
On top of his teleport
everybody
runaway.
else in the game, mostly all the top tiers.
Okay, well, if you want everybody to play this super generic, I'm going to do one string or throw all day,
Then
which
make
is,
him
I mean, what the
lame,
game
as
is
Tom
about.
said, and stop bitching about it. Then make him a lame character. If you don't want to, you can leave him the way he is. He's
Raiden in this game appeals to lame people.
exactly. And here's the thing, even
Dude,
Tom,
I don't
Tom,
think this game can afford a character like that, man.
Okay,
Like,
that's
you
fine.
want to make the game bigger and grow, this isn't the way.
Rio,
Give
that's
it
fine.
defense, doesn't make it grow. You'll attract every fighting born in like 1980.
Dude, I don't think a lot of people are gonna be like, "Yo, did you guys hear? Raiden got buffed. Let's go back to MK." I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, okay, here you are. You can either
I'm trying to be realistic here. If Raiden, look, I don't mind Raiden become top tier. It's just the way that they do it. If he's
Not
this
about
top tier
It's not
character,
about that.
that's about I'm gonna walk back all day, throw lightnings, and yeah, that's the game. Guarantee you, right now, people are gonna bitch more about that than they currently are about Gears.
You know, I was at NEC, the last NEC for MKX, and everybody thought all its hype. I remember Tekken Master fighting, who was that other guy, other player? I forgot his name now. He played the Broodmother variation. I don't remember his name now. And it came into the last round of the last.
You're talking about Zui
Yeah, Zwei, whatever.
or Zwei?
And it came into the last round of the last. Zwei had a huge life lead on Tekken Master. Huge, right? Tekken Master knocked him down. Zwei gets wrong every time. Overhead low, over gets wrong every time. Tekken Master make a big comeback. And the crowd, instead of being like, hype, they were like, enough of that dumb shit. That kind of stuff is only hype when a game first comes out. 6, 7, 8 months into the game, when the simplicity of that wears off, people need more substance. That's when you appreciate more things like the different play style that Raiden could give you. Because people eventually are just like, enough. It's like football, right? You take pro football, you say, we're going to change the onside kick rule. Everyone lines up an inch off the ball, and you got to guess he's going to tap it left or right. He jumps on it, and who's going to make the right guess? A team comes back down like from a bunch of points. People would just say, we get it, man. Just give him the fucking ball. You keep guessing right every time. That's not hype. People want to see something different. You keep everything to the generic pigeonhole of has to be hype, has to be where the 50-50s, where's the offense?
Yeah, but you have to understand fighting games are different now. Like the whole meta now, everything that revolves around games now, it's how entertaining is it? How much does it sell? Do people want to fill up a stadium to watch it?
JDC off the screen.
Okay, but I'm trying to explain you how fighting games have a different direction now. It's not about how good is the game actually. It's about what kind of hype does it generate? Can it fill up a stadium? If it can't, then it doesn't matter.
When he's backdancing,
doesn't matter. Dude, I'm not. Okay, we're talking about MK11. I agree, Tekken is hype. What are you talking about?
You're saying MK players don't want to play defense.
I'm not saying that anywhere.
What do you?
There's a way to go about it. You can make Raiden this defensive god, but doing it that way, which I guarantee a lot of people they will tune off if they see Raiden
what you're saying,
walk back,
you're saying
try to time
something
out.
that Playing to Win said a long time ago. Playing to Win a long time ago, he said, if I were to watch Sonic or one of the newer players today just overwhelm somebody, like be as oppressive as possible, right? And they're very oppressive players. People are like, oh my God, he's a god. He's a god. He's like, but if I were to watch you or Mario space somebody out and time them out or be patient, and I'm like, wow, look at the patience of that. Today's community would say, get that shit off the fucking screen. These guys are scrubs. They don't know how to play.
Agreed. That's my point.
Well, you can't
That's
make
literally,
a fighting
you just
game
made my
that
point for me.
alienates everybody that plays unless they play one way.
This is the future of fighting games, man.
The future of fighting games is you have to play like a certain type of
the
player.
Future of fighting games is
playing it.
No, the future of fighting games is hype over gameplay. It's been like this for like the past 5 years.
How hype has Injustice 2 been in the last like year? Tweety.
The issue was Injustice 2 wasn't based on hype, hence why it failed. That's my point.
Right? And he was talking.
No, Tom, this is my point.
Hold on.
Injustice 2 wasn't based on hype.
What was it based on?
It was all about the lame and zoning and I'm a walk back, I'm a Dr. Fate, I'm a Starfire, did this and that. People hated it. That's my point. I'm not saying that playstyle is bad, but I'm saying if they turn this game into that,
didn't like watching
if they make this game more like Injustice 2, where it's about I'm gonna walk back, I'm gonna run down the clock, I'm gonna lay me out. I'm telling you right now what's gonna happen. People are going to complain, they're gonna bitch, and they're not gonna like the game. But if you want the game to be like that for the sake of new playstyles, then go ahead.
So you're saying people?
I'm just warning you guys.
Starfire turned them off of the game.
Yes, because dude, you have to understand fighting games now. They're becoming mainstream in a way. Like it's more for entertainment now than it is for gameplay.
Okay.
Shit needs to be entertaining.
Okay.
Nobody wants to see somebody win by running and teleporting all day. They want to see somebody win by getting in fast-paced mix-ups. They want the game to be interactive. They want to watch like a movie. That's how it is.
Well, I would argue that
So if you make the game like Injustice 2, where people dreaded watching it, most people did. Some people loved it, but most people did not like watching somebody walk back, throw Dr. Fate fireballs all day.
No, that's true.
It's not going to do well. That's not how you're not going to make this game explode like that and make people want to go like, yo, I can't wait to go get tickets for the next Mortal Kombat major to go watch it.
You do realize the game already.
I get your point. I'm just trying to explain to you guys.
You're not listening to anything. The game already has defensive characters like Cetrion, like Shang Tsung. And guess what? People are still tuning in and watching. As long as it's not extreme to the to the point where you can just win and throw fireballs, which we agree in this game and you obviously can't. It's gonna be okay. Now the point is about Raiden. You can make him better, and I think he should be better. Should be top tier. We're not even discussing that right now. We all agree he should be better. Now you can go in two different directions. You can make him a better lane character, as Tom said, or you can make him play like everybody else and give him a safer.
He already is a lame character in this teleportation.
Well, it's obviously not working.
That's probably his best strength. That part doesn't need to be buffed.
Well, nobody's saying it should be buffed, but the thing is, it's obviously
by buffing.
I feel like we're arguing in different. Look, we're not on the same page here. I'm just saying.
Joe Push.
No. Look, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. I'm just saying that they need to be careful to not turn him into this teleport runaway monster. I am agreeing with every other direction and making Raiden, because giving him those Joe buffs would make him more fun to watch because he'd be more interactive. He's strong launchers. It's high paced. But if they do something to make that specific teleportation way better,
that variation
which enhances his. This is my point, but I feel like there's a big disconnect. We're all arguing in different directions. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree with you on
they
that.
They need to be careful. Raiden's one of the characters that needs to be very careful because of that one variation.
Yeah, I agree that variation doesn't need to be touched, but Joe Push does. And Joe Push could have its own style of lame, which can also be entertaining because it's like this dude's throwing a launcher at you, and at any minute,
nice Zyphox.
And at any minute, they're like, "Oh shit, is this dude about to get launched?" At any minute from anywhere on the screen. Like it's a lame factor, but it's also got that hype anticipation factor to it at the same time.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. I mean, it's ultimately up to NRS, and we'll see what the developers have in mind. I'm sure they're gonna look at it carefully. But let me get some opinions on Terminator. What are you guys thinking on the? What have you seen, if anything at all, like any gameplay that impresses you, or maybe you're disappointed? Zyphox, what do you think?
I love the Terminator. Like, I've been using him a lot. He's just like Jason. Like, he literally is Jason from MKX, but like I wouldn't use Jason in MKX. So it was like I don't know, the aesthetic part of the fact that he's like basically Jason with the fact that he's the Terminator. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of cool. Dark Phase obviously I think is the best variation. The 50-50 variation, the very first one I was trying to use, it's just not as good as that command grab / the running man stance throw is like such a good mix up.
What about the last variation?
I haven't even really used it, but it's like more of like a setup type of. I'm not really a setup type of character. It's more of like a Rio variation for sure. I wish that he played more like I thought the Terminator would play like maybe like definitely that armor move that like Jason used to have like is definitely a Terminator type of thing. The shotgun is definitely more of a new age Terminator thing. Well, I mean, he did use a shotgun like as in the old movies, but like I don't know. I don't know what to expect because I was like, I wonder how Terminator could really play, and I feel like maybe that's where NRS like had like a roadblock. Like, how is he really supposed to play? Like, I think definitely the running man like tackle and the running man stuff was definitely like something a Terminator might do. Other than that, like I have a lot of fun playing as the Terminator just because his games that Jason's style of play works really well in this game.
Well, he does have the armor move. It's just not in any of the variations, right?
Yeah,
the
I know.
endoskeleton.
Yeah, but I don't count anything that's not turn of variation as.
That's right. I mean, I'm just saying it's there. It's just not part of his tournament moveset. So, which is, I think, a shame. I understand he can't jump or something, and he can't even block, but it has armor.
That move sucks. Let's just be serious.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Not the armor move sucks where he buffs himself up, but the one where he becomes the exoskeleton. Yeah. That one, or I'm sorry, endoskeleton. Yeah. That move is really bad. I tried to use it in customs. It's so shit. Guess who I was playing against, by the way, when I had that shit up?
Who?
Lord of Thunder. And guess what variation he was playing? Couldn't even catch him. Oh. I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna become, endoskeleton Terminator. Awesome. Now he better back up. Like, this is scary. I'm in my prime. He just walked back all day. Teleport. Walk back away. I'm like, dude, I can't forward dash, can't jump. Awesome. Great move.
Well, it's an outdated model, man.
Terminator? Yeah, the model is shit.
It's an outdated model, man.
It is. I agree.
Skynet's moved on.
I agree.
That's true.
But Terminator is great though. He's definitely my favorite DLC character so far. So much more fun than I don't even want to talk about Nightwolf.
Last time you saw
so much more fun than
Nightwolf. His name was
Nightwolf.
called Pops. That's how Terminator. That's how old that model is. Right?
Terminator's badass though. I like his playstyle. He's like a slice of MKX, but crafted for this game. He's got overheads, lows, command throws. Not the best footsies in neutral, which is how you should usually design a crazy 50-50 character like him. But overall, he's great. He's very fun. I was expecting them to make him more of a tanky character, which I'm surprised they didn't. Like, from the get-go, I thought he was going to have, like, Kotal Khan health or Shao Kahn health. Like, a little bit more health than everybody else. But he didn't. He has the same health as most of the characters in the game. But aside from that... And also, that projectile move sucks that he has. The projectile parry. I almost wanted to pull my hair out. Because when he came out, a lot of people in my stream would come in, and the first advice they would give me is, Rio, use the projectile parry.
Same.
Use it more.
Same.
I'm like, dude, if you say that to me, I'm going to assume you haven't played Terminator yet to realize how shit the move is. First of all, the frame data is a lie. It's not even 1 frame startup. It's like 10. Second of all, it's like 70 frames of recovery. Meaning Cetrion can whiff a geyser in your face, whiff it, not even hit you. She recovers quicker than you do with that move. And that move doesn't do anything. It doesn't accomplish anything. Okay, you're full screen. You parry something. Let's say I parry a Kano knife. Now I'm stuck in recovery, and now there's another knife coming at me. What do I do?
I know.
What do I do? A, parry again? Or B, say, fuck the move. I'm just going to duck or jump over projectiles because that's better anyway. The move is trash. I just have to get that off my chest because I've heard that comment so many times over the past 2 weeks. Terminator released, Rio, use the projectile parry. Why are you not using the projectile parry? You got to use the projectile parry, man. It's one of the worst moves in the game.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but I do know
It's shit.
It's so useless
It's shit.
that I
No,
get
no,
triggered because the move... No, right now the move is literally in the game just so sometimes when you block something and you go to immediately counterpoke with your fast mid back 3, it comes out by accident.
Yeah.
That's the only purpose of the
It's
move right now,
garbage.
to make you hate it even more.
It's garbage.
The move is trash.
I'm
I'm not saying it needs to be buffed
Yeah.
because it may make him stupid, but the move is trash. I'd rather the move just be removed. I just don't want it. When I use him, I don't want the move there.
They say the same thing to me. Like, use the projectile parry, and I'm like, no,
They have to. They must not play Terminator or something. I don't know.
they can't. I don't think they do.
Yeah, I don't think they have Terminator to be suggesting that. I mean, it's cool. Like, Terminator 2 movie. He's in the ally, and then he absorbs all the shotgun bullets. But yeah, in the actual game, the move's so bad.
Let me touch on the last topic, if you guys don't mind. And it has to do with, we don't want to get into depth with this because people are going to lose their minds, but discussion on the new balance of possible tier list shifts. Tom, let me go with you. Has Gears dropped? Is he all of a sudden mid tier or high mid tier now? What are you thinking?
I know a lot of people are complaining about Cetrion because everyone's like, Cetrion. She didn't. Zyphox brought up, she was the biggest winner. She didn't get touched. But Cetrion is proof that the players that play Cetrion, we don't give them. We people don't stick things out. I've had the benefit to play Koizi, a Cetrion player, and at first I was just getting crushed, right? And it's like, oh my god, what the fuck, man? She's just, oh, she can't have that. Oh my gosh. But you can really find ways to fight her. And it's not even close to as oppressive as people. And at some point, you got to start giving those players credit. Maybe her teleport could be touched a little bit so her recovery isn't as fast. But pretty much besides a slight tweak to her teleport recovery overall, you're still fighting the player, and it's not as bad as people make it out to be, even though it can be hard. She's driven by resources. No resource. She jumps in the air as a projectile. Punishment's free. There's no guess if the second one's coming out. No resource.
For some characters.
Luckily for me. But still in all, there are mind games or stuff based on what's available to her. Geras, however, there's no leveling. It's the same situation.
Wait, there's no what?
Leveling up against. Because it's the same situation that's present at all time. Geras is 100% geared around the flawless block launcher meta. Gears players abuse this -3 launcher, and then they down 1. It comes out as 9 frames. This makes them immune to any mid, any 50-50, any throw. They were immune. They're doing a launcher and then making themselves immune to the strike throw mix-up. Now you could say, okay, well, you can down 1 them. Oh, you down 1 them, they flawless block, and you go up. But you can bait that. You can walk back, their down 1 will whiff. They flawless block, they jump in the air, and they're punished. That's good, right? But then they do launcher, walk up on you, and strike throw mix you up right there in your face, right? Because you're waiting for whatever. You're allowing them pressure off a launcher. The entire game is, even like it's an Avalanche player with Sub-Zero. He does that string, I do down 1, I'm launched. I walk back, he can still make a read, put me in a strike throw mix up after me blocking his launcher, right? I go to throw, he can still neutral jump in and kill me. Every option Gears does is launcher, launcher. If he's right, his reward is a launcher. In every scenario, his reward is launcher, 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 launcher. Even if he has crushing blow sand loaded, you do the string, you got to take your turn back. Crushing blow sand, give me that 30, dog. You know, but it's unsafe. But it hesitates you on your turn because it's so much damage. His reward in every scenario is launcher. You have mixed rewards. Maybe it's a down 1. Maybe it's a throw. Maybe you do get a launcher in this situation because it's down 1 or whatever. The point is, in his world, there is no down 1 or throw. Everything is launch, 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 launch. Every single option is launcher. And then I do a string into creeping ice. He's the only character that can flawless block it and up 2. There are a lot of characters like that where there is some stuff that is pretty much safe from flawless block up 2s, but except for Gears. And I'm not sitting here saying all the stuff has to come down. I'm just saying that, can you get rid of the 6 frame up 2? Can you just get rid of that? I mean, let him keep his jumps, fine, whatever. You can still fight that. It's dumb, but it's whatever. But a 6 frame up 2? I mean, some people are like, makes his launcher minus than -3. Maybe, maybe not. But the 6 frame up 2 pretty much makes fighting Geras the post whatever it is he does, flawless block up 2 guessing game. And some characters are like, I do this, he flawless blocks it and launches me. Then, not just when I'm the offensive is he launching me. On the defensive, I go to take my turn back, I can't even do that without having to worry about being a launcher. And for someone to say, oh, well, I know you blocked his launcher, but walk back and surrender more pressure just in case he happens to whiff something. No. You already made the right read. You blocked his launcher. That was his read. That was his play. He was done. It's your turn. If they want to keep that, the down 1, that's fine. But to make it so he's going to launch you for down 1ing him, you're blocking a launcher and doing your fastest poke. Some characters are just like, or they do moves that are like safe from flawless block launcher, except for Geras because his move goes half screen and is 6 frames. I think Geras would be no different than every character has their dirt. And I'm not campaigning for Geras to lose his. Just come on, cuz. What the fuck are you thinking, NetherRealm? 6 frame up 2? Yeah, shit the fuck out of here. Other than that, I think Geras is fine. Keep him where he is. Cetrion, she's fine. Just maybe tone down this teleport, not by much. Don't give it the score. And I hate saying that because as soon as I feel tone it down, they're just like, tone it down. So you mean add 20 frames to the no, but you know how they do it. You know what I mean? It's like 5 frames, maybe 7, right? Not much. And 7 may be too much, right? And even if they don't, there's still ways to fight her.
I don't know. I feel like these nerfs would affect the lore. They got to be powerful.
To be honest with you, I don't even care if they touch. Geras' up 2 has got to go. It's got to be slower.
You don't think that adds depth, though?
No. He has the best damage, the best safety, the best jump-ins, the best up 2, pass.
Well, people would say just out-footsie him. Or neutral him.
Okay, you can out-neutral him all you want. But you know what happens in those counter-poking games? Up 2 launchers, pass.
I don't even play neutral with Geras.
I play neutral with him. I think it's fine.
I skip the neutral and just go up to... I just try to skip neutral and go to the Up close game.
The 6 frame up 2 has got to go.
Yeah,
6
think-
frames.
I think the average one is like what, 8, 9, or 10 frames.
Dude,
Like double digits, I
They
think.
thought Raiden's forward 1 in MKX was broken because it was 6 frames. Remember that 6 frames? Good game.
Okay, wait, hold on. Hold on. We're not going to downplay Lord of Thunder here. Dude, that was a way different thing. His 6 frame move was a mid you had access to all the time. You didn't need meter. You didn't need to floss block anything. It was just there. And it went into staggers and 0 strings.
Bottom line
that
is,
launched.
the 6 frame up 2 is too much. You know it's too much. To me, everything.
I mean,
Everything else
I
is
think it's
bearable.
too much, but then I look at the lore, I'm like, you know what?
I don't wanna look
Gears
at
is
the-
supposed to be powerful.
He's still powerful. I didn't say touch any. I just said touch the 6 frame up
He's
2.
supposed to be powerful, so I think about it, I'm like,
And
you know what? This is
Cetrion, if they
actually
don't touch
fine.
or teleport, that's fine. There are still ways to fight her. You know, it's whatever. People just a lot of times losing gets frustrating, and a lot of people don't want to stick it out. But if they, I think I should touch it a little bit, just because it recovers so fast. But if they don't, they don't. But Gears is up too.
At least he has to flawless block. Come on, that takes a little bit of skill. It does. They even nerf flawless blocking too to make it work how it was intended to work.
Gears can literally flawless block and catch a 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 frame move. Well, it's called flawless block, and you have a 3 to 4 frame window where you can catch multiple moves. The term is flawless block. Take someone that plays other fighting games and say, then there's flawless block. They're like, oh, that sounds hella, like execution. Flawless block? You gotta have good timing. No, you really don't. You can catch like 7 moves in one, all different speeds. Just no.
You know what?
What did the
when
Joker say?
NRS
Dark Knight? No, I want my phone call. I want my phone call to Paulo. My phone
Okay, look.
call Paulo. No.
When NRS addressed the flawless blocking last patch, I thought that they were going to address the whole, I did a safe launcher on block. Now I'm gonna floss block you. The post floss block game. I thought that change was to address that stuff, but I was kind of disappointed how it wasn't. They left all of the scrubby stuff about floss blocking, but got rid of the defensive OS and other aspects of it. It's a little bit harder to floss block jump ins now and so on. Do you think they should have maybe addressed that, or what?
What's scrubby about the flawless block right now?
Some characters can do like a string and put you in a situation where you have to poke back to get your turn, but they're able to capitalize that by just floss blocking after their launcher, and then they can launch you, which is Gears.
A launcher into a launcher.
Yeah. So then you're sitting there, and then the way you beat that is by either throwing out a throw, which, by the way, you'll eat a down 2 crush blow into 50%. Don't ever do that again. But
he's always down wanting you too. Steve.
Or you're gonna have to block and just be like, "Fuck, okay, maybe he's gonna floss block," and then you're just giving up your turn. That's the meta. That's the scrubby meta with floss block for some characters.
Fix the up too.
That's completely intact. It wasn't touched at all.
I don't know.
No launcher should be launching a down one.
I think this is a Gears issue, not a flawless block issue.
I agree. It's a Gears issue.
It's the fact that his up 2.
Look at the
I agree.
range. The range and it's 6 frames.
Okay, there's two options here. They could either keep it a fast 6 frame unique depth move. I like using that word depth.
No. No.
They could keep it like that,
No.
but make it a high.
No.
Or they could keep it a mid that goes half screen and launches, but make it slower. There's
slower.
2 options here.
Simple.
You either you keep it a fast quick punisher, but it's a high so you can't launch pokes, or you make it slower and it stays a mid.
Make it slower. Problem solved.
Or third option, they can leave it how it is because in the lore, Gears is very powerful.
Make it slower. Problem solved.
Listen, to be honest with you, I don't even really care about that. And this is what I'll say about this. Gears is very strong because of it, but even with that, I'm not really afraid of Gears. I don't know, just me.
My dude, you play Liu Kang. You're playing top tier character.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
I just need to say that because you're playing Gears and Cetrion. You guys are all yeah, I don't mind fighting my other top tier friends.
Dude, honestly though, I'll play Slayer and he's probably the best flawless blocker outside of the Deoxys. He literally flawless block launches me everything.
He is, unless it comes to tournament, then he can't. But yeah, he is.
This is probably the best.
So outside of Deoxys, he's probably the best, and I'm still okay, whatever. You did it.
You know what? I think I would become a great floss blocker if I got super reward off mine. I would maybe attempt to do it.
You can't be flawless block launch.
Maybe.
Freaking.
If my character gave me a lot of reward,
What's the
flawless
second?
block, I would maybe
what's the
practice
second
it.
fastest flawless block launcher?
Probably like 10 double digits.
Oh,
Okay.
I think no 8 frames. Liu Kang.
Yeah, but his has no range. His has like 0 range.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a drawback. You have this quick launcher, but the drawback is you're at like point range 0.
Yeah,
where you have
well,
to
I
be
don't
breathing
want
on somebody to
the
hit
range
them.
down to the move because then it just I don't know. Like that's part
Again,
of what it is. You know, it's like
Yeah, I think this is definitely to me.
Look, how about they keep Gears how he is and buff the variation that is not that good with him, and then call it a day.
Why are you about buffing Gears, but you're so scared?
It was a joke, Dave. Holy crap!
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not even funny because when we joke about buffing Raiden, please don't. The game is gonna lose viewers. Oh my god! Like,
Nah, that's true.
really?
Okay, I wasn't that dramatic, but
No, it
there's
was
a
definitely
dude.
that
Gears,
dramatic.
Dave. There's a difference. Gears is super hyped to watch. Okay,
What?
seeing these high-paced 80% crushing blow combos.
He,
When
He's
I
not
first saw
best
when
friend
I
of the
first
back-
saw that 80% crushing blow combo, it made me want to go pick up Gears and buy the game again.
Well, hold on. The first thing is he's not hyped because he's literally at every tournament, and the more you see of a character, the more the audiences want to see.
It is that's very true. So yeah, once you get that Lord Raiden buff, then he's in every single tournament. Dave, I want to hear you say those words again.
Unlike you, I'm not afraid of having multiple playstyles in the game. I know you are, but I'm okay with the lane.
That's not true at all. I just want the game to be super entertaining that everybody loves it. I want MK11 at the next Evo be so entertaining and hype that people are gonna come off Street Fighter, stop playing your Tekken casuals, get off Guilty Gear, and look at the MK11 screen. Okay, when you have a Raiden walking back all day throwing lightnings and then timeout and literally people falling asleep in the crowd, that's not good for the game, Dave.
Evo would say, "Wow, this looks like a fighting player."
Shut the hell up.
They
They would not do that with Raiden.
we had a game that was supposed to entertain everybody, and we saw what happened. Let's not make them,
MKX?
Yes, let's not make the mistake.
Well, MKX did it in the wrong way.
Well, that's your opinion. I think they tried as best they could. They made the game almost like
Making a game super hype that the top 8 is literally Alien versus Tanya is not the way to go.
well. Even after they changed it, it was still again all.
It was too late by then, Dave. Like people. Okay, Dave. Let me ask you a question. If you go to a restaurant, you eat, and you have a terrible experience and the food shit, are you gonna come back?
Yeah, if you go to IHOP with Big D and you get chocolate bread instead of pancakes,
Jesus, don't even talk about that, dude. I haven't had IHOP since. Like Big D is like the king of making you never want to try something again. I saved so much money because I've been through so many IHOPs. Like passing them by, I'm like, I'm just not gonna eat there. But anyway, Dave, answer the question. If you went to a restaurant, had a very bad food experience, would you go eat there again?
Oh well, it depends what I'm ordered. You know, I don't. It depends for me. I know.
So you would go eat at the same restaurant
Well, I
again,
know
even
what
though you had a terrible experience.
Well, probably not, but it depends. You know, I like.
Okay,
what I
so
like.
okay. So look. First impressions are very important. So when you have somebody try a game, play it, they see what's on the screen, they hate it, they don't like seeing Tanya
You can
Alien.
say
You really think they're
the
gonna come back?
You could say the same thing.
No,
about
they're gonna go
fighting
eat
game
somewhere
you
else,
made.
Dave, which is what happened. Okay, MKX got fixed too late into the game. Too many people had a bad taste in their mouth. They didn't want to
You
give
could
it a
say the
second
same
chance.
thing about every game.
This
Every
is-
fighting game ever made.
Yes, that's why first impressions are super important.
No, I agree with you. They are, but
They're very important.
But
A
there
game
will
has
be-
to be
there will always-
fun and good from the get-go. Otherwise, it's very hard to gain the player's trust
first
back.
of all, fighting games are imperfect. There will always be balancing mistakes, and they will be witnessed.
I agree. I'm not
people-
arguing against that. I'm
Exactly.
just saying, but you can't have something like a bunch of Tanyas and aliens, dude.
Again, who's arguing for a bunch of tinies and aliens? Nobody is. We're just saying, can we have a Raiden that's not bad? That's all we're
Dude,
saying.
I-
wish.
Okay, there's a big disconnect here, man, because I feel like you guys aren't listening to what I'm saying. I agree, and I literally stated some buffs you could receive. I'm just saying they need to be careful because if they do in one direction, it's not going to be good for the game. Okay.
No, and that's fine. I agree with you.
I have
I
one
don't
more
know-
suggestion:
Go ahead. Go ahead.
fatal blows.
They're the best thing about the game. They're
Armor's
really
gotta
high.
go.
Shut the fuck up, Rio.
And
No, fatal blows are literally my favorite combo to do. When I do a fatal blow,
Yeah.
favorite combo.
I'll tell you why. There are some fatal blows that are designed more than like in combo type moves. Cabals, Aaron Blacks,
Frost.
Jacks, Frosts. Liu Kang's is kind of fast too. Catch people walking back off.
Cetrion,
Cetrion,
Gearus.
Gearus. You remove the armor, those fatal blows still do that. It doesn't change that. And they're still done in combo. What it does is take every character in the game and like you go to poke up Yeah, because some characters you just can't move. You have the lead, and they're like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and if you try to stop me, don't forget, you're fucking dead." You just can't move. You just can't move. I think the armor.
I think that's by design. I think they don't want you to play. I think once somebody gets fatal blow, it becomes a one-player game until the player decides to use that move.
Real what?
I'm just trying to like understand why they did it that way. I guess that's why.
Well,
Let's say you're beating on somebody so bad, right? And they're like, "Damn, this is stupid. I can't do anything." Now they're given this godlike attack.
Why does Rio
Now they get to do.
advocate to every fucking question? Like,
I don't know. I've just been having a lot of fun with MK11. I like it.
well,
I
I
love
think
it now that I have
Tom-
Avalanche. I do love it
Tom-
with Avalanche, but I'm just saying I think fatal blows could. If they don't, they don't.
Well, Tom, if they haven't removed the armor by now, will they ever?
Probably not. I don't give a fuck if they do or don't. It's just a suggestion. Just get rid of that fucking up tier when I'm straight. Just
Fair enough.
NetherRealm, get it done, please. But no, there's one thing. If we're done with the whatever, one thing I want to address, and it's Combat League is just fucking awful. It's
Oh yeah, we need to address this, dude.
let me
I'm
just
like
tell
the
you
king
right
of
now,
Combat
it's
League.
so
Like
bad.
that's all I live and breathe Combat League.
Combat League is so bad that even if you were to say, man, let me just lose my 5 sets every day for 10 days, get my just immediate rewards, my for the achievements, the on the bottom right, and be done with Combat League. Let me just do that. Even that's hard to do. I can't tell you how many days I say I don't give a shit. I'm just sets, right? I don't care. I'm just gonna mash.
Yeah.
And I'm in there against people, and it's like I'm like, all right, 80 ms. How bad could it be? Wi-Fi, and it's like, no, we meant 280 ms, and sometimes 320, and it's so bad. One time, myself and this one guy, we suffered through the worst of the worst through all 3 games, and in the last round of the last match, halfway through, it DC'd us and didn't even give me credit for the game being played, for the set being played. Then if you quit out, so like sometimes like you'll play one game and lose, and the connection's so bad, you're like, all right, it's so bad, it's like 290, 310. I'm just gonna forfeit set. Nope, can't get out of your hell there either, son. You get to lose the points, but it doesn't actually count as a set played. They don't even let you out of hell. You're just stuck in this fucking hell of Combat League to even get the basic rewards. It's so poorly done. The rewards are garbage. What you have to go through is garbage. Once you hit Elder God, which you can do in a couple of days, you have no reason to get decay. Why? What am I playing for? To prove what? That I'm top? Get on a fucking plane if you want to prove you're top, right?
It decays because they want to keep you active,
Okay, well, there's
and
no
because
reason
they
to
don't
stay
want
active.
you to.
You don't get any more rewards. You don't get anything. You don't get anything.
The rewards could be done better. You know what they should do, which would be a great reward.
Yeah, I have an
which
idea.
Everybody. Okay, Tom. What if I told you? Look, hear this idea out. What if I told you there was a simple thing in Combat League that you would be able to redeem once a week that would give you 10k coins, 10k souls, 10k hearts, and one cosmetic item of your choice for any character? Would you do it?
Pass.
That sounds awesome. Right?
No.
Pass?
Here's what I would do.
What?
Here's what I would do. I would create a new currency, not no once a week shit. A new currency called like Paulo's pesos or combat coins, something, right? At a certain rank, you start earning these coins. Like maybe you start earning it once you get to demigod. Then every X amount of wins, you win more of these combat coins, right? Whatever it is. When you go to the crypt, things you normally have to wait, like, oh, this is found in Premier Tower that you won't see until the day the next DC fighting game comes out, Well, you can then purchase those things. It allows you to pretty much play a lot, rack up a lot of these coins, and then just buy scan, this scan, gear piece, etc. Pretty much allowing you to buy anything in the game. Because the real problem with the game is this. Every other fighting game ever created, say this one, you earn things. It's a fighting game. It's not an RPG. The point of a fighting game is to go online and play other people, right? Not sit at home, play the computer all day. If that was the case,
True.
why do we have
True.
it online then? We might as well just go
But
back.
you're telling me we're able to earn shit by fighting other people online?
They should give you a way to earn a lot of those skins, not by playing the computer, by waiting for the grace of God for it to come up in a premiere tower, not by this tower or whatever. I mean, you can do that if that's what you want to do. If your thing is like, I'm not going to be online and play, or if you don't have internet access, God help you. But they should give you a way to do it by actually playing humans. The purpose of this game is to fight other humans, and you earn ways to get these skins in this exclusive league known as Kombat League, right? So,
If they did that, I probably wouldn't be a 10,000 hour default skin Aaron Black.
and the next thing, you have these Kombat League rewards that people go through hell to just stick it out and get. So help me God, if you release a complete edition and give the Kombat League skins away, what the fuck are you thinking? What is the point to ever play Kombat League? For what? For what?
Okay, as a complete sucker for Combat League, because they got me good, because I'm hooked on that mode, I fell for the hype. They were hyping it up. Premier online mode, 40 days coming, 30 days until Combat League begins. A week, delayed for another month. This mode is going to blow your mind. It's going to be the go-to mode. Everybody's going to play, compete for rewards, level up, fight against the best competition online. The mode is anything but that, because when I play it, first of all, I'll play like 4 hours of Combat League, right? Out of those, let's say, 40 matches in the 4 hours, probably 1 out of 10 of them are actual real matches where the game is actually playable. The rest are these matches that you're sucked into and you can't escape. They're like 160 ms Wi-Fi games that don't emulate how the game plays offline. Just people jumping, mashing, disrespecting because it's so laggy and shitty. So many matches like that. The game is so desperate to find you an opponent, as if the game didn't sell 50 million copies. It's so desperate to find you anybody. It's like, oh my god, gotta find him an opponent. Hey, you person from across the other side of the earth with a shitty connection that doesn't connect well with your connection. Would you guys like to play right now?
We're
Hurry.
5 ranks below.
Why? The game doesn't have any kind of. It doesn't prioritize like the connections that are good with you. It should find connections that are close to you first, the good connections, and then if it can't find any, it should start branching out. But why do I instantly get matched up with a 200 ms Kano on Wi-Fi? And then after that, I get matched up with a 180 ms Wi-Fi Shang. Like, why am I getting connected with these people? Where's the matchmaking? And also, why am I in like Elder God, but I'm fighting people 5 ranks below? Like, what is this? Where's the matchmaking? I'm not fighting people my rank, and I'm not fighting people that have a good connection with me. Does this game have any kind of matchmaking? I'm lost as to what's going on here. They need to fix the matchmaking. They need to add a system connecting you with people who are your rank and who connect well with you. And if they can't do that, then they need to add like a filter that'll say, I want to search 5-bar connection to find other 5-bar connections with me, or 4 bars. I get to select which one I want. Because they can't keep having it go like this, where most of the matches in Kombat League are nothing like how the game should play. It's supposed to be good practice for the game for offline tournaments, because they changed it first or two, so it gets you in the same mindset as offline tournaments. But they need to have the online start emulating better with the offline, how the game plays offline. Because right now it's a huge hit or miss depending what kind of match you get into. And like Tom said earlier, you can't get out. You can't get out. I wish there was an option at the bottom. I wish there was, after a Kombat League match, at the bottom it says rematch, character select, or forfeit. I wish there was a 4th option that only shows up if the MS is over 150 and it's just called this shit too laggy, I'm out. And the points don't count. The game just forfeits for both players and you guys just find somebody else. I wish they had a 4th option for that.
That makes sense.
A promotion match sometimes will be you up against 300 MS God Liu Kang player, who by the way is playing that teleport variation. You can't see or react to anything, and everything's like plus
League was supposed to be, unlike ranked, where you're ranked 1 and you're playing ranked 150. We're not going to be that way. It's the same thing. It's the same thing everybody hated about ranked, only it's called Kombat League. But it's the same thing.
The matchmaking has to be improved somehow. Like so many people have the game. I don't see why the game is this desperate to match you with anybody who's on right now.
Too.
But 90% of the matches of Kombat League are Wi-Fi. Like almost everybody. I've never seen so much Wi-Fi in my life until Kombat League.
Well, how about this? Why don't you just let me play online, whether it's any mode, and let me unlock all that stuff that way. I don't want to play computer. That's not what I play the game for. Instead, I have to go through all this tower nonsense. It's garbage.
True. Well,
The
here they
mobile
should keep
game,
the tower
get out of here.
nonsense and all the other stuff. They should keep all the other single player content to unlock
No,
for
that's
the people
fine.
that don't have online. That's
They
fine.
should
But they
also
need to
give
add
the
an
option.
yeah. They need to also have an additional way to unlock stuff for the online only players that only play the game
And
specifically
that's
online
cool.
against
Like
other
if I
humans.
play casual matches even online, I should be able to unlock that way. Because obviously we're gonna
I
play.
agree.
We're gonna
I
play.
agree.
We're gonna play a lot of games, and I agree with you. I think if you want to unlock it in a single player mode, should be able to do that as well. But the way it works now, like this whole thing has been mishandled, and they even first of all with the difficulty in the towers, they even made literally a combat case to apologize literally to the fans. That's how bad it was. It was pitiful.
Hey man, I think NRS was listening. A lot of people were like, "Hey man, games are too easy these days." NRS is like, "You know what? We're gonna be different." So I respect that from NRS. Keep making the games hard. Fuck it, don't make it easier.
No, I'm okay with that, but some of the other mess ups as as well. I don't know. I don't play single player a lot, so I can't really comment too much on it. All I want is should be able to unlock all this stuff in online, no matter what mode. If I'm playing a lot of games, I'm putting in time. I want to be able to unlock it. That's all I have to say about this. Let me just say thank you to everybody who's listening to us. Please give us some feedback, whether it's on YouTube or Test Your Mind. And we thank you again for listening, and I hope you tune in the next time.